Welcome to the Java class. Today, in this video, we will discuss the difference between Java and C programming. Okay, so in this column is for C programming contents, and this on the right hand column contains the content of Java. Okay, so here the first content in C programming. C programming is procedure oriented language. Okay, procedure oriented means there is the top down approach, means execution is start from the main method, means is top to bottom. Okay, the line it execute the code line by line from the top to bottom. So this is called as procedure oriented programming language, which does not contain any classes and object in C programming. Okay, the procedure oriented means there is top down approach, the execution will start from the top to bottom. Okay, whereas the Java, there is object oriented programming language which contains the classes and object and methods. Okay, in Java there is no such not a such kind of the top down approach, means it may be bottom up or it may be top top down. Okay, so here the first difference is the procedure. C programming is procedure oriented programming language, and whereas Java is truly object oriented programming language. Okay, next difference is C was developed by the Dennis Ritchie and Java was developed by the James Gosling and his team in 1995. Actually, it's begun from 1991 and it completed up to 1995. Means here Java is developed by James Gosling in 1995. The work actually was started from 1991 and finished in 1995. Start from 91 and completed his work at 1995. So Java is developed by James Gosling in 1995. C programming is compiled language where Java is both compiled and interpreted. So here compiled means converting the byte code or converting the code into a object code, which the object code stored in a file. Converting the program into a object code. Okay, compiler the work of the compiler converting the program code into a object code. So this is called as compiler. C contains only compiler, whereas Java contains the both compiler and it. Java is both compiled and interpreted. Okay, so the difference between the compiled and interpreted is compiler, the whole program will convert it into a object code, whereas interpreter, the code will be interpreted, the code will be executed without converting into a object file. Okay, next is the C programs are platform independent. They need to be compiled for particular platform. Here a C program is platform dependent, means we need to compile for every particular machine. We need to write the code and compile for every system. Whereas Java program, it is platform dependent. We can write once and run anywhere. We can run the Java code anywhere. We can move the Java code one machine to another machine. Whereas C program, it is platform dependent. We need to be compiled for every machine. Next is C supports the global variables. So see here, C program supports the global variables, and whereas Java does not support global variables. Global means we can accessible anywhere in program. Okay, so here C supports the global variable and Java does not support any global variables. Next is C fully support pointers. Java has restricted, where Java has restricted support the pointers. Pointers are supported internally. You cannot enter the pointer. Here C fully support the pointer, whereas Java not support any pointers. C supports structure and array, where Java does not any support structure and array. There is in C program there is two concepts. One is structure and array. And in Java does not support the structure and array. Next is C supports the procedure header files, preprocessor header files. Java does not support preprocessor header files. Header files means in C program you might have seen that is hash include htdoa, that is hash include, it is header file which contains the functions of printf and scanf, which contains codes for the printf and scanf. So this is called a header file. Here the printf, the functions, the printf scanf is already written in the stdio.h header file. Okay, here C supports the header files where Java does not support any preprocessor header file. Instead of that, in Java there is the concept called as packages. About the packages we will discuss in later session. Next one is C supports the goto system, goto statement, where Java does not support the goto statement. However, the use of goto system is discouraged and not considered as a good practice. Okay, actually the goto support, C program supports the goto system, but there is discouraged for the use of the goto. Okay, for a good practice. If you are a good programmer, we not encourage to use goto. Okay, whereas Java does not support uh, goto statement, but the one thing is goto is result equal keyword in Java. Result means suppose one keyword is result, you cannot use as an identifier. For example, int goto. Okay, you can't use because goto is already reserved in Java. Okay. Next is next and last difference. C++ provides both call by value and call by reference. Here the C supports the call by value and call by reference, where Java supports only call by value. So this is the difference between the C and C and Java. Okay. So I will discuss the difference between C and C++ and Java. C++ was developed by Bjorn Strostrup. Developments began in 1979. Whereas Java was developed by James Gosling and his team. Development began in 1991. Next difference is C++ is compiled language, whereas Java has both compiled and interpreted. C++ programs are platform dependent. They need to be compiled for a particular platform, whereas Java programs are platform independent. In terms of the C++, you have to rewrite the program and compile it for a particular platform, whereas Java, we can move the program one machine to another machine. Okay, so means write once and run anywhere. C++ does support operator overloading. Function overloading is also available in C++, whereas Java does not support the operator overloading. However, function overload is possible in Java. And next difference, the C++ is fully supports pointer, whereas the Java has restricted the support for the pointers. And the pointers are supported internally. You can not write to pointer routes. Next difference is C++ support the structures and union, whereas Java does not support the structures and union. In C++, supports the manual object management through the new and delete keyword, and in Java there is one feature that is automatic garbage collection. It does not support the destructor the way we can do in C++. Next, C++ support goto statement, whereas the Java does not support the goto statement, but although goto is result keyword in Java. C++ support the multiple inheritance, but in Java does not support the multiple inheritance. Instead of the multiple inheritance, Java has inheritance concept. In C++, it provides support for the call by value and call by reference, whereas in Java only support the call by value. Next, the C++ has no support for the unsigned rate shift operator, whereas in Java supports unsigned rate shift operator. Okay, about this unsigned rate shift operator, we will discuss in the session. So this is the difference between C++ and Java. Another major difference is about the object-oriented. C++ has the both object-oriented and procedure-oriented language, whereas Java purely object-oriented. In C++, we can follow the approach, top-down approach, and even we can follow the object-oriented approach also. We can print hello world in C++ with help of the class also, and even we can print the hello world statement without any class. Okay, means here we are using the object oriented. If you are using the class to print the hello world, then it will be called the object oriented in C++. If you not used any class, you printed the hello world, then we can say that it is the procedure oriented. Whereas Java, you have to use class, at least one class, to print the hello world. So totally it is the object oriented. So this is the major difference between the C++ and Java. C++ is both procedure oriented and object oriented, whereas Java only purely object oriented. So this is the difference between the C++ and Java. Thank you.